Well, good morning, g'day, g'davo, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. My name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and I've been waiting a while for this to produce this video for you, and I'm thoroughly excited. I'm here in beautiful the quarantine station in Manly, and I'm on the Nimbus T11. You hopefully have already seen the walkthrough. I'm here with Cam from Sports Marine, who's made this boat available for us for the day, and thank you to the owners of the boat, because this is the boat we did the walkthrough on, and it sold very soon after that, and it now lives in Mossman, and the owners have been very kind to let us use the video, so thank you for allowing us to use your boat. And yeah, I've already had a bit of an experience sitting downstairs, and it's what I thought. This is from just sitting downstairs flying the drone, I can feel this boat it's a sophisticated adventure boat, is the best way I'm going to describe it. I'm just going to start to motor around all these kayakers and we'll make our way out. Yeah, that's the word that comes, or the feeling that I got from sitting downstairs. What do I mean by that? You can feel the extra weight in this boat. You know, it's got more displacement, and it uses that weight and the cutting bow and the air-stepped hull to just glide through the waves. You know, we don't have big swell today, but we did take it out in the ocean, and it's really comfortable. You know, this has got family fun boating to me written all over it, and so I think it's time that I show you what it's all about. Sorry if I'm going quiet. I'm just looking at all these fishermen and kayakers around me. I'm trying to make sure I don't get in anyone's way or run over them. I'm a terrible multitasker. Anyway, I'll quickly talk about the dash, and then we'll start talking about the performance. I got twin Simrad displays just here. I got a compass up forward. I love having all the drink holders dotted around, and also I've got this super handy these little this one is cup holders, but also doubles as a gear storage area. You know, I arrived, one of my phones was low on power, so I popped it in here, put it on charge, put my drone in the well just here, and we still had space to rest other phones facing us so we can see them when we're underway. Just little touches like that. It is a bright sunny day. None of this is glaring back in my face, so I've got exceptional visibility. All my gear is at hand. You know, I unloaded my pockets and my other stuff. It's a hot day, so I had my drink bottle out and popped that in the fridge behind, so it's all just very well laid out. But we've got the screens here. We've got the electronic throttle just here. So that's a standard Mercury digital throttle system just there. In terms of the ergonomics, it is on a good angle from a standing position like this, and I'll sit down in a second and see what that feels like. Below that, I've got the bow thruster operation. Typical Nimbus, they have really oversized bow thrusters. So I don't know if you can hear how talky that is coming through on the microphone, but it's got loads and loads of juice, that, so when you need it, it's there for you. We've got the VHF on starboard, so that's at hand. You know, that'd be handy if you're doing a bar crossing or something. It's nice to be able to talk to the Coast Guard. You've got your searchlight just here. I've got the zip wakes. I got them set on auto today, so I'm just going to let them do their thing. And I've got my all blacked out boat systems buttons here, so horn, navigation, anchor lights, auxiliary, bilge, second bilge, defrost, that'll be for up there. I don't think we'd have that in this country. Wipers, 1, 2, 3, wiper wash and 2 wiper individual buttons just there. The Fusion stereo is just down on port. And then in terms of the ergonomics, you know, I've got the flip down bolster. It's quite a strong feeling or well built kind of seat, so you've got to give it a bit of a push. And then, yeah, like doing your transition from seating to standing, I think you would go to starboard, and then that's pretty easy. I mean, my little legs can't actually touch the footrest there, so this is clearly designed for a bigger Swedish bloke, but I don't think I'm stressed about that because they've already thought about that with this little fold down footstep there. I could utilize that a little bit, and I do find it quite comfortable standing up. I feel like, for me personally, for my body size at 5'7", I would probably drive this boat standing up. And then above me, My arms are fully outstretched and I'm touching the roof. So you've got bucket loads of headroom just here, and my eye line, I'm personally looking straight through the glass, and I'd have to get up. That's standing right on my tippy toes before this ridge line of the windscreen is actually in my eye line. So if you were, I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", you might just have that in your eye line, requiring you to stand up, prop yourself up a little bit higher to see over it. And if you're a well, I call myself normal, yeah, whatever. 5'7", if you're 5'7", or a little bit higher, you can see straight through it, standing up position, and the tall blokes might want to sit down. This windscreen wrapping around to here, we'll see what that's like in terms of the wind. Today I've got my revs on the Simrad screen just here, and I got my SOG, speed over ground, in the middle of the screen there as well. And we are heading just straight out into offshore conditions, but it is calm today. We've got a northeast breeze coming from that direction, going down this direction, and just nothing, really no swell to speak of coming from a southeasterly direction. It's really quite minimal, so you might see a little bit on the camera, but nothing worth noticing, at least not compared to the last few weeks. I've been out in some really big seas the last few weeks, so this is really nothing to threaten us. Twin 300 horsepower Mercs on the back. We're about 7 tonne, fully loaded, about a 5 tonne boat, 7 tonne of fuel and motors, and we're pretty much full of fuel today. Cam and myself, and this is an owned boat now, so it is full of all the owner's personal gear, you know, barbecues, water toys, all the other stuff. It's really nice, actually, stepping on board and seeing that the boat's being used for its intended purpose. So, and just as I envisaged it in the walkthrough, I could see all the gear being stored around the particular spots on the boat, just indicating to me that, you know, they're having a good time, which is what we're here for. So I'm just putting along there at 1,000 revs. That's giving me 4 knots SOG. I'll just bring that up through the rev range. I'm not going to muck around too much with the slow speeds, because you really get this boat planing or not planing. 1,350 revs. I'm just touching 6 knots, no wash. So that's fine, not going to offend anyone at 6 knots. And bringing that through to, just get it up to 1,550, 1,600 revs, 1,600. And I've got the engine trims, now I have the engine trims all the way down. So sitting at 1,600 revs, 1,620 thereabouts, I'm just 6.87 knots. And yeah, still no wash, that's not offensive, that's fine. Let's roll through, get up to 1,800. So 1,800, 1,850. Let's just do 1,850. 7.8 to 8 knots. 7.8 to 8 knots. My first wave's braking, but it's really, that's not going to knock someone off a stand-up paddleboard unless they were crap. And let's just get a little bit faster. Okay, 2,150 revs. The boat feels like it wants to go now. I'm starting to make a decent amount of wake on my first wave, and that's giving me a speed return of 8.5 or 8.8 knots. And let's just go, let's go to 2.5. So the zip wakes are in auto. 2,500 revs. That's wash. Okay, let's get moving. 2,500 revs gives me 10.2 knots SOG. So let's get the boat up and moving. I'm not going to go super fast just yet. We are going straight into the ocean. I got yachts, powerboats, fishermen all around. So I'm just going to navigate my way. This is my first time at the helm. So bringing the boat up through 15 knots, 3,500 revs, 3,800 revs. I feel like I can see the wash just here, so I'm just going to give the engine trim a couple of degrees. So that's 3 degrees, 4 degrees, and that feels a bit better, and I feel like it needs more power. So I'm at 3,800 revs, doing 17 knots. That's quite relaxing, actually. Even that 17 knots, you know, I really do get the feel that this is it's an adventure boat every day of the week, but it's an adventure boat that a family, even a conservatively minded family, would love. You know, if you want a boat that you want to keep for 5 or 10 years and it's just going to stay in great condition, this is one of those boats. You know, the Aussie sun's not going to beat this boat up as much as it does to other boats. You know, if you've seen us Aussies, as we age, we tend to get a little bit aged on the skin. It's no different with the boats. So these Nimbuses are just built to a higher standard. So I'm bringing that speed up to 4,150 revs. That's 19 knots. I'm just coming past, there's a little reef out here. I'll just hug the cliffs because it's going to look nice on the drone. 18, 19 knots there, 4,100 to 4,200 revs. So yeah, this is a moderate yet comfortable cruise. You know, I feel like I could be driving this boat, conversing with my guests. Everyone back here is going to be comfortable. By the way, there's still elements of shade hitting that front seat. If you have the front seat in the forward position, those people are going to be in shade. So the back guys, not so much, but that's just interesting and worth noting. And whilst we're here, just cruising at these moderate speeds, the wind, it's here. So that's that far out from my head is where the wind starts. And here is where it starts over my head. So it's gliding straight over me, so I can wear my favourite hat and no worries. And even if you're a few inches taller than me, you're not going to have a problem. So that's interesting. So let's just bring the speed up a little bit more. How beautiful is this? So 22 knots speed over ground, and I've got 4,400 revs. So yeah, that's a good speed return for what is a big, sizable boat. And I can really feel now I am rolling through a couple little ocean swell waves here, and this boat takes it. Like, yeah, this is where the displacement is really talking to me, because we know all about these cutting bow boats. We know all about air steps and the benefit it gives you on speed, comfort, and fuel burn as well. But adding the extra weight on what is, you know, this is a sizable boat, I feel like I'm invincible right now. I feel like, you know, I could take this thing and just go to Queensland. Like, you absolutely could do that. You could just move this boat between Sydney, the Gold Coast and the Whitsundays on its own back, because what a wonderful day trip. Just hop your way up the coast and do it that way. What an awesome way to do it. So I'm still just sitting there, 4,400. I'm not going to go too much faster just yet. Got lots of fishermen up here, all the beautiful rocks of Sydney. On a sadder note, it's worth mentioning, because we are in the general vicinity that this happened 2 days ago. A young bloke minding his own business, having a swim, he got eaten by a great white. Poor bloke, he was from England, and we've all been talking about it. It's all over the news. I've been swimming down the beach this morning. It's on everyone's mind, and like, honestly, if your family or your mates are watching this, mate, we all feel for you, and it was a terrible thing to happen. It just happened down there, so it's a bit of a shame. We're all ocean lovers, so mate, our hearts are with you and your family. Anyway, back to the test. I'm just going to peel off. I'm just going to go behind this boat here. I was leaving all those fishermen to their own business there, and I think I might put the boat through some turns. So I'm just going across some waves. Might increase the speed a little bit. 4,600, 4,700 revs. I'm just going into the swells here. It just takes it. I'm seeing zero water coming up over the bow. I really like seeing those bow cushions zipped down and secured with bolt ropes on all sides. So I've got zero anxiety about them flipping up in my face, which is not the case on other boats that I've tested in the past. So I'm just taking the boat through some gradual turns here. Just beautiful. I want one. This is just so comfortable. As I was feeling downstairs on the drone, this is sophisticated. This is sophisticated adventure boating. They're not trying to be, well, this is the feeling I get. Nimbus is not trying to be lairish and ridiculous with this T-series. They're being conservatively cool. That's what they're doing. They are conservatively cool. They've built a good looking thing. She's super gorgeous from the drone. It goes good. but it's really got a lot of reliability built into it. So this is exciting. So handles those turns really, really nicely. I've got no loss of visibility through any of these turns. I've just increased my revs to 4,800, and that's giving me a speed return of 28 and now 29 knots. And I do have waves, half a metre waves, and some bounce back from these rocks. So waves coming that way, bouncing back. So a little bit confused, but this boat's just lapping it up. Like, I would be completely comfortable to go wide open throttle right through here. So I'm just going to dart my way through here, because now we've got, because of the underwater topography through here, we'll get some surf waves building, and I'll just take it down swell. Here we go. Tracks beautifully. I can take my hand off the wheel. She's going, you know, straight lines. Beautiful hull. I'm just going to go right wide around that reef there. So 4,800, 4,850 revs is giving me 29 knots. I'm going to increase the speed. I've still got the engine trim setting at the same setting. Got some waves behind me here, all clear around. The harbour's starting to open up a bit now, so I think I'm almost ready for a speed run. 32 knots here, 5,100 revs. Feels good. Feels good. I don't feel the need to bring any engine trim up just yet, but we'll try that when we go downwind and give it some speed. So 5,000, 5,100 revs, 32 knots. That's a fast cruise. I like to try and keep my engine rev setting below 5,000 if I can. So if I just dial it back to 4.9, 4.8, yeah, that still gives me 29 to 30. I think I would cruise it, fast cruise, at 29 to 30 knots just for the fuel savings. But who cares about fuel right now? Let's go wide open throttle. So, harbour's clear, we're doing it. Okay, that's wide open. My engine trim setting is at 3 degrees. I'm going to bring it up. That's bringing me through 5,700 revs at a very quick pace. A couple little waves just here. I'm getting 38.4 knots and climbing. I'll give it a little bit of engine trim up and over some waves. That looks like my mate sailing. I think we'll just buzz the tower. Okay, 39 knots, 39 and a half knots, 5,900, 5,950. Oh, she goes. She goes. Yeah, 40 knots, 40 and a half knots. I'll just give it another bit of trim. Wow, sophisticated and fun. Okay, let's just see how she performs. Lovely, lovely. Some boat wash. I'm hitting that at 40 knots. And here's the displacement coming into its own. Just eats it up, doesn't want to launch. I've got good contact with the water. Wow. You know, for a couple of little 300s, I say little, they're not little, but for what is a, you know, heavier boat, that's impressive. You know, it doesn't have the kick you into your seat sort of acceleration that a lighter boat would have, but I feel that hull form and the displacement, it looks after you in a more comfortable manner when you are underway through chop at higher speeds. So all the seats are dry, no water over the bow anywhere, no water over the side. So this is from my experience just then, this is a dry boat. So nobody's going to be arriving at the beach club pissed off because they need to change their shirt. And from my perspective at the helm, that was easy. You know, I'm not worried about, there's no rattles. The thing feels solid as. I'm not worried about guests. I'm not worried about the boat. I'm not having to think as hard as you do on other boats because it didn't do anything sort of unnatural or aggressive or scary. This is sophisticated adventure boating. So yeah, interesting, very, very interesting. I want one. So what is my wrap up on the Nimbus T11? I think if you want an easy to use day boat, if you want to maximize your entertaining and minimize your fuss, and you want to do it for a long time, I think that's when you consider investing the time and energy into a boat like this. Actually, some of the commenters, and thank you for all these comments, I'm just loving it, have asked me how long does it take to put on and remove the covers. So we did actually test that this morning. This boat's got 4 covers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we had them off in 5 minutes. And I think the sensible thing that Nimbus have done by separating it into 4 covers rather than one big boat cover, if it was windy, putting it on at the end of the day, it's still a cinch because you're not holding up a big sail. So 5 minutes, we timed it, that's how long it took. Everything looked beautiful because it was all protected by the sun. So yeah, back to my wrap up. If that's you, 22 knots cruising, 17 to 22 slow cruise, fast cruises anywhere from sort of 27 to 29, 30 knots, top speeds of 40, simplicity and exceptional quality. You need to talk to the guys from Sports Marine. My name's Dan Jones. This has been Dan's Boat Life. See you on the next one.